Hello everyone, I am lecturer Sharandeep Singh from Electrical Engineering Department of Government Polytechnic College, Talwada. Today we are going to discuss an important topic from the Electrical Power 1. Begin with the title of my presentation or the topic we are going to discuss is electrical power generation. So, as an overview, mainly we are going to discuss the following topics. First, the main resources of energy. There are two types of resources, conventional and non-conventional. Secondly, we are going to discuss different types of power stations and their comparison, thermal power plant, hydropower plant, nuclear power plant. And at last, we are going to discuss the importance of non-conventional sources of energy like solar energy and wind energy. So what are the main sources of energy? The sources of energy can be broken down into renewable sources and non-renewable sources of energy. First, we are going to discuss renewable sources of energy. What is a renewable source of energy? A source of energy is called as renewable if it can be replenished again and again. It is never finished. For example, solar energy, wind energy, water energy, and geothermal energy. Secondly, there are non-renewable sources of energy, sources which cannot be used again and again. That is, they don't replenish automatically. So there are various types of non-renewable sources of energy like natural gas, coal, and oil. Now, where we obtain energy from? There are various sources of energy. First, we can talk about sun. Solar panels are used to harness the radiations of the sun and they convert that energy into electrical energy which we can use. Second, wind. In order to harness wind energy, we can use the windmills. The windmills rotate turbine, which in turn rotates generator in order to produce the electrical energy. Third, tidal energy. What is tidal energy? Tidal energy uses the rise and fall of tides and they convert the kinetic energy of these tides into electrical energy. It is mostly used in coastal areas. Fourth is water. Mainly the hydroelectric power plants are used to harness the energy from water. The hydroelectric power plants rotates alternators which gives us electrical power. They are really environmental friendly. Next are the fossil fuels. There are many types of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas. These produce energy which can be converted into mechanical energy and then later into electrical energy. At last, the nuclear energy. The nuclear energy is used to produce tremendous amount of energy from just a small piece of nuclear material. Mostly we use uranium as raw material for nuclear energy. Now first, in detail we are going to discuss the steam power station. It is also called as thermal power plant. In this the fuel which is used as coal. The coal generally is bituminous. The bituminous coal is heated and this heat energy is used to boil water in a boiler. The boiler converts water into steam. The pressure of steam is very high and this steam is used to rotate a turbine which in turn rotates a alternator that is a generator and it produces electrical energy. Now as you can look in the diagram, the boiler produces the steam from the water and the steam produced has low temperature. So a superheater is also used to raise the heat of the temperature of the steam. In order to make that steam more efficient, the temperature of the steam is increased by the superheater. This high pressure and high temperature steam is given to steam turbine, which produce the mechanical power and the generator converts the mechanical power to electrical power. This electrical energy can be used in households or can be given to a grid. Next, we are going to discuss a bit more about thermal power plant or steam power plant. So the main parts of a steam power plant are boiler, steam turbine, and generator. What is the efficiency of steam power plant? It is very low. It is about 20 or 26% only. It depends on plant size. Next, we are going to discuss advantages and disadvantages of thermal power plant. First, the advantages. The thermal power plant has less initial cost as compared to hydroelectric generation. It requires less space as compared to hydroelectric power plant. In this, as you all know, coal is main fuel and the coal is cheap as compared to other types of fuels. So this is economical. The cost of generation is less as compared to diesel power plants because the cost of diesel is higher as compared to coal, which is used as a raw material in this type of power plant. Secondly, we are going to discuss disadvantages of thermal power plant. First, the running cost is more as compared to hydroelectric power plant. Secondly, as you all know, it produces smoke, which pollutes the environment due to the production of large amount of fumes. Next, the land required for this type of plant is more due to storage of coal and ash. The efficiency of thermal power plant is very low. It's about 30% only. That was all about thermal power plant. Next, we are going to discuss about hydropower plant. As all of you can see, the hydropower plant has various parts: reservoir, dam, surge tank, pressure tunnel, valve house, penstock, powerhouse, etc. What is a reservoir? Reservoir is a huge mass of earth that is used to store water. And then there is a dam, which is an which acts as an obstruction to this water. Next, there is pressure tunnel. The water from the dam goes to valve house through pressure tunnel. Next, there is surge tank. In surge tank also there is water present. Whenever pressure is high in pressure tunnel, the water flows to surge tank. In case of less water in pressure tunnel, water flows from surge tank to pressure tunnel. So next the water goes to valve house. The valve house consists of various valve gates which allow, or we can say control, the amount of water that is flowing to penstock. Next, the water flows from valve house to powerhouse through the penstock. In powerhouse, we have alternators, or we can say generators, which rotates when the water from the penstock falls on turbine. The turbine converts this energy into mechanical energy, and the mechanical energy of turbines is converted into electrical energy with the help of generators which are present in the powerhouse. Next, as you can note down the important points regarding hydroelectric power plant. The hydroelectric power plant is mostly used in hilly areas because in hilly areas automatically high height of water is obtained. Next, what are advantages and disadvantages of hydroelectricity? First of all, hydroelectricity is a renewable source of energy. That is, it uses running water without requiring any fuel. Secondly, the running cost is less because in this only water is used. No fuel like coal, oil, etc. is used. It has longer life, its efficiency is higher, it do not produce pollution. This is very important point. It is very environmental friendly. Next are the disadvantages. It has high capital cost because its construction is to be done in hilly areas, so its capital cost is high. It requires high cost of transmission lines because the transmission lines are to be used for transmission of electricity from the hilly area to the place where the power is to be used. Next, it is highly dependable on natural rainfall because if water is not available, then it may affect its working. Look at the diagram. These are the fuel rods, as you can see in magenta color. These are fuel rods. The fuel rods are made up of generally uranium 235 or thorium 232. Next, there are control rods. What are control rods? Control rods are used to control the chain reaction that happens in a nuclear reactor. Control rods are made up of boron or cadmium. They can be inserted in or they can be inserted out. This dome type structure is nuclear reactor because the fuel which is used in nuclear reactor is highly radioactive, so it must be used in an enclosed chamber. Next, in this a moderator is also used. What is a moderator? Moderator is also used to slow down the speed of neutrons because we don't want the chain reaction to become out of control. So basically control rods and moderators are both used for controlling this reaction. Now the heat is produced from the nuclear chain reaction. This heat is used to produce the steam from water. Now who carries this heat? A coolant carries this heat and it converts water into steam. The steam then rotates a turbine. The turbine is connected to an alternator or we can say generator. The generator produces electrical energy. Now the steam which has done its useful work, and there is also steam which is still remaining after doing this useful work, then it is passed through a condenser. The condenser converts this steam into water which can also be reused. Next you can see a chimney and a cooling tower. Chimney is used for flow of the flue gases which are produced during the reaction into the atmosphere. Next we are going to discuss advantages and disadvantages of nuclear power plant. First advantage is the amount of nuclear fuel required is very less as compared to coal and thermal power plant. For same amount of energy production, the amount of nuclear fuel, that is uranium, it is required is very less. Nuclear power station occupies less space as compared to other power stations. Thirdly, the running cost is very low for nuclear power plant. In this, no polluting gases are produced. Next, we are going to discuss disadvantages. As we all know, uranium is a radioactive material, so high technical knowledge is required for operation of this power plant. The fuel available, that is uranium, is very expensive and it is not easily available. The waste from this power plant is very radioactive and its safe disposal is very difficult and also very expensive because the waste material has to be dumped into the sea, which is a costly process. At last, the danger of nuclear radiation. The nuclear radiations are highly hazardous to the men working there, and in case of maloperation or leakage, it can cause a destruction. So that was all about the various power stations. The rest of the topics we will continue in next slides. Thank you all of you.